Hello, friends. I hope you're well. Today, I want to talk about allowing God to be the superhero in our lives. So, superheroes, as we know them, are guys with superpower or super abilities that come into a bad situation and they save the situation, save a day, or even, save lives. So, how does this apply to us as Christians? Most of us, we have the routine of having devotion time where we read the word, pray, and just spend time with God. But life happens even beyond the devotion time. It happens when we're interacting with our colleagues, our families, our friends, when we're traveling. It's when we have the opportunity to lie on the phone, the opportunity to abuse, the opportunity to be bitter, the opportunity to be corrupt, the opportunity to lust or even engage in other sins. And so, in allowing God to be a superhero would mean when that opportunity presents itself, when that activity comes up before you, instead of dealing with it in human wisdom and human strength, you apply the word of God to deal with that situation. That's inviting God to come and give you a different outcome from the outcome you would have received if you used your own wisdom. So, for example, in your devotion, you read the word that love your enemies and do good to those who wrong you. That is in Luke and also in Matthew. A practical example would be you're a wife, your husband has wronged you, you don't want to see him. That morning, do something good for him. Could be iron his clothes, just do something extra that you would not necessarily do for him in the morning. It's at workplace, you have a colleague who is always pointing out your mistakes and making you look bad in front of your bosses, and so you're always put in a position of defending yourself. Today in that meeting, instead of defending yourself, praise that colleague, praise the work they do, say something good about them. You're a husband and your wife has been denying you your bedroom rights because she's always tired in the evening. That evening, come home and tell her, you know what, today I want you to go sleep early and rest. I'll take over the evening routine. When you do something good as the word of God commanded you in your devotion time, you're inviting God to come into that situation and give you a different outcome. And a different outcome is basically just a miracle. And so you'll be knowing a God who, in a situation whereby you're supposed to be angry, He gave you peace. In a situation where you're supposed to be mad, He gave you joy. In a situation where things were falling apart, He allowed you to stand and be strong. And so you know the God who fights for Olive, the God who fights for Esther, the God who fights for Kevin and Joy. You'll have a personal God being involved in your personal work. So the word of God in Ephesians, in the full armor of God, the word of God is compared to a sword. A sword is an offensive weapon. That means when you read the word of God, don't leave it at the devotion table. Go with it to where the action is happening and use it to fight and allow God to be the superhero. So my challenge to you today is don't leave the word of God at your devotional time. Carry it during the day and allow God to be your superhero. Thank you.